Hello everyone, let's learn how to read data from CSV file into a list of list data structure. It's very easy for us to convert the spreadsheet file format into a CSV file format. I'll show you how to do this as part of the next video when we cover a demo problem. Once you convert your data into CSV file format, you'll be able to use a parsing code snippet in order to parse the CSV file content into the list of list data structure within your Python program. We'll come back to what we mean by parsing code snippet in a few slides. What exactly does the term parsing mean? Parsing is a fancy term for stating that you'll be reading the CSV file content as one whole big string into your Python program and somehow converting that big string into a list of list data structure. You're going to take every row in your CSV file and convert that into an inner list within your data structure. The number of items within an inner list is going to be the number of cells corresponding to that particular row in the CSV file. Please keep in mind that the CSV file only supports string format. So all of the items within your list of list data structure is going to have a string data type. It is totally up to us to apply specific typecasting functions to be able to convert a specific field's type into an appropriate type. Let's go through examples of indexing for the list of list representation of this particular CSV file. Recall that indexing always begins at position 0. So rows of 0 is going to be the header row here. So what would rows of 1 be? That would be the baker row. Rows of 1 of 0 is simply going to be baker. What is rows of 3? That's going to be Eloise row. Rows of 3 of 1 is going to be 1975. Observe that we have double quotations around 1975. That's because all items within the list of list data structure have a string data type. What would rows of 1 of minus 1 be? Rows of 1 is baker row. Rows of 1 of minus 1 is going to be the last column, which is 38. That's because we use negative indices or reverse indexing from the end of the list over here. What would rows of 0 of minus 2 be? Rows of 0 is the header row. Rows of 0 of minus 2 would be damage. Let's take a look at the parsing code snippet. We are going to use the parsing code snippet as a black box, meaning you'll not be able to understand all the lines of code for now. Eventually, when we cover the topic of files, you'll be able to understand all of the lines of code within the parsing code snippet. As I mentioned before, we'll be using the CSV module in order to parse the CSV file's content. You can understand that the open function call enables us to just open the file for reading, and you have a CSV module reader function which enables you to read the file's content, and somehow you're able to convert that into a list of list data structure which is going to be pointed to by the variable example data here. Here is an example CSV file which contains a shopping list. This particular CSV file has 3 columns and a few rows. When we run this particular parsing code snippet, it's going to give us the list of list representation where you have each inner list to contain 3 items corresponding to the 3 columns. Let's take this code snippet and generalize this into a function so that we can pass the CSV file as input and get the list of list data structure representation as the return value or the output from the function. Whenever you want to convert a code snippet into a function, you first have to define the function name using the def keyword. So I'm going to tab indent all of the lines of code that we had in the previous slide and define a function called process underscore CSV here. We need to then move the import statement for importing the module outside the function definition. You don't want to be repetitively performing the import. That will cause an overhead for running your program. Then think about what should be the output from the function. That would be example data here. Make sure to include a return statement in front of that so that you're able to produce that particular output over here. And finally, take the input CSV file and define that as a parameter so that you can pass an argument to that particular CSV file in order to be able to parse it. My apologies for the camel case in this particular code snippet. I'll get it fixed after I finish recording today's lecture. Finally, you need to add a citation. This particular code snippet is from the Swigart book. So we are going to state that we copied the code snippet from the Automate the Boring Stuff book, and here is the citation for that. Keep this code handy. We are going to copy paste this code for the demo problem. I'll wrap up this video here. In the next video, we'll go through demo problem.